Clara Thompson, a modest woman in a worn scarf, weaved through the crowded terminal of JFK Airport. Her cheap suitcase rattled behind her, wheels squeaking under the weight of her hopes. After a failed job interview in New York, this flight was her last chance to get home to Boston without sleeping on a bench. Her savings were gone, her phone battery at 5%. The gate loomed ahead, passengers shoving to board. Clara's heart pounded. She had minutes before the door closed. A sharp clatter stopped her. An old man, frail and disheveled, had dropped his cane, his bag spilling papers across the floor. People stepped over him, muttering impatiently. Clara froze. Her flight was boarding. She glanced at the gate, then back at the man, his trembling hands fumbling. "Sir, let me help," she said, kneeling to gather his things. His tired eyes met hers, grateful but weary. She helped him to a bench, her suitcase abandoned. The departure board flashed, "Final call." Clara's stomach twisted. She was risking everything. The man, Henry, mumbled thanks, clutching her hand. Clara smiled, hiding her panic. She'd miss her flight, but his frail frame stirred something in her. She bought him a coffee with her last few dollars, ensuring he was settled. The gate closed. Clara's chest tightened. Her ticket was non-refundable. She'd be stranded. Yet, as she sat with Henry, his quiet gratitude warmed her. Little did she know, this moment would change her life forever. Clara Thompson sat beside the old man, Henry, in the bustling JFK terminal, her heart sinking as the departure board confirmed her worst fear: her flight to Boston had left. Her worn scarf felt heavier, her cheap suitcase a mocking reminder of her dwindling options. She'd spent her last dollars on Henry's coffee, leaving her with nothing for a new ticket. The job interview she'd pinned her hopes on had already gone poorly, and now she faced a night on the cold airport floor. Yet, Henry's grateful smile softened her regret. "You didn't have to stop," he said, voice raspy but kind. Clara shrugged, forcing a smile. "You needed help. It's fine." But it wasn't. Her mind raced with worry. Henry sipped his coffee, watching her closely. "Most people don't stop," he said, his eyes sharper now, less frail. Clara barely noticed, too focused on her predicament. She checked her phone. Dead. No way to call home, no money for a charger. Passengers rushed by, their lives moving forward while hers stalled. She glanced at Henry, his hands steadier as he tucked his papers into his bag. "What's your name, miss?" he asked. "Clara Thompson," she replied, her voice tired but polite. He nodded, a faint smile crossing his lips. "Clara, you don't know what you've done." She frowned, confused by his cryptic tone. The terminal's noise faded as Henry reached into his coat, pulling out a sleek business card. Clara's breath caught as she read it: Henry Caldwell, founder, Skyway Airlines. Her jaw dropped. The man she'd helped owned the airline she'd just missed. Clara Thompson stared at the business card, her hands trembling in the chaotic JFK terminal. Henry Caldwell, founder, Skyway Airlines. The words blurred as her mind raced. The frail man she'd helped, whose spilled papers she'd gathered, owned the airline she'd just missed. "Is this real?" she stammered, her worn scarf slipping off her shoulder. Henry's eyes twinkled, no longer weary but sharp with purpose. "I come here every month, disguised," he said. "I watch how people treat others when they think no one's looking. Most ignore me. Some snap. You, Clara, chose kindness." Her heart pounded. She'd sacrificed her only way home, but now she faced the man who controlled the skies. Clara's thoughts swirled, stranded, broke, and now this. "I didn't know," she whispered. Henry chuckled softly. "That's the point. True kindness expects nothing." He stood, steadier now, and waved over a sharply dressed woman. "Ms. Evans, this is Clara Thompson," he said. The woman nodded, her tablet glowing with schedules. "Clara missed her flight helping me. Let's fix that." Clara blinked, unsure if this was a dream. The terminal's clamor faded as Ms. Evans typed rapidly. "We're getting you on the next flight, first class, no charge," she said. Clara's eyes welled up. But Henry wasn't done. "Join me for a moment," he said, guiding her toward a quieter lounge. Passengers whispered, sensing something extraordinary. Clara clutched her suitcase, its squeaky wheels echoing her disbelief. What was happening? Henry's next words would turn her world upside down, proving her small act of compassion had sparked something far greater than a free ticket. Clara Thompson followed Henry Caldwell through JFK's bustling terminal, her cheap suitcase dragging behind, its squeaky wheels barely audible over her racing heartbeat. The sleek Skyway Airlines VIP lounge loomed ahead, a world of polished glass and plush seats she'd never imagined entering. Ms. Evans, Henry's assistant, handed Clara a first-class ticket to Boston, her name printed in crisp letters. "No cost," Ms. Evans said, smiling. Clara's throat tightened, her sacrifice had already brought this miracle. But Henry, now standing tall, his frail act gone, gestured for her to sit. "Clara, I've built Skyway on trust," he said, his voice steady. "Your kindness today showed me something rare." He slid a folder across the table. Clara opened it, her hands shaking. Inside was a contract, a full-time role as Skyway's Community Impact Director, reporting to Henry, with a salary that dwarfed her wildest dreams. "You gave up your flight for a stranger," he said. "I want that compassion shaping our airline's future." Clara's eyes widened, tears brimming. She'd been a cashier, scraping by, her job interview a bust. Now, this? "Why me?" she whispered. Henry leaned forward. "Because you saw me when others didn't." The lounge's soft hum faded as Clara processed the offer. Passers-by outside stared, sensing a story unfolding. Her worn scarf felt out of place amid the luxury, yet she'd earned this moment. The contract promised stability, purpose, a life transformed. But Henry's next move would stun her even more, proving her single act of kindness had unlocked a future she never dared imagine. Clara Thompson sat in Skyway Airlines VIP lounge, the folder in her lap feeling like a dream. The contract, Community Impact Director, six-figure salary, promised a life beyond her worn scarf and squeaky suitcase. Henry Caldwell, the airline's founder, leaned back, his sharp eyes studying her. "Clara, you're not just getting a job," he said. "You're joining a mission to make Skyway a beacon of kindness." Her mind reeled. Yesterday, she'd been counting pennies for a bus ticket, now, she held a first-class ticket and a future. The lounge's luxury, soft leather seats, a chandelier glinting, felt surreal against her faded coat. "I'm just me," she stammered. Henry smiled. "That's enough." Ms. Evans returned, handing Clara a sleek badge with her name and title. "Your new life starts now," she said. Clara's eyes welled up, the weight of her missed flight fading. She'd helped Henry, thinking he was a stranger, only to discover he'd been testing humanity. Her choice had passed his unspoken test. Outside, passengers craned their necks, whispering about the woman escorted by Skyway's elite. Clara's phone, now charging courtesy of Ms. Evans, buzzed with a text from her sister. "You okay?" Clara typed back, hands trembling, "Better than okay." Henry stood. "One more thing," he said, gesturing to a glass door. Beyond it, a press team waited, cameras ready. "Your story deserves to be shared," he said. Clara froze. Her act of kindness was about to ripple far beyond the terminal, touching lives she'd never imagined. The next step would leave the entire airport buzzing. Clara Thompson stepped through the glass door of Skyway Airlines VIP lounge, her worn scarf a stark contrast to the gleaming cameras waiting beyond. Henry Caldwell, the airline's founder, walked beside her, his presence commanding despite his earlier frail disguise. The press team's lights dazzled her, their questions ready to capture her story. "Clara, your kindness stopped me in my tracks," Henry said, facing the reporters. "She missed her flight to help a stranger, me. That's the heart Skyway needs." Clara's cheeks flushed, her squeaky suitcase forgotten by the lounge entrance. She'd never faced a crowd like this, her life as a cashier far from the spotlight. A reporter called out, "Clara, how does it feel to go from stranded to Skyway's new director?" She froze, gripping her new badge. "I just did what felt right," she said, voice shaky but honest. The cameras clicked, capturing her raw emotion. Henry nodded approvingly. "Her role will ensure Skyway gives back," he told the press. Starting with a fund for stranded travelers, inspired by Clara. The crowd gasped, her act was reshaping an airline. Ms. Evans handed Clara a tablet showing her first task, a $1 million charity initiative. Clara's eyes widened, her $5 coffee for Henry had sparked this. Passengers outside the lounge whispered, their phones recording the scene. Her story was spreading, a beacon of hope in a rushed world. As the press conference ended, Henry leaned in. "This is just the beginning," he said. Clara's heart raced, what more could come? Her kindness was about to inspire millions, and the next moment would stun everyone. Clara Thompson stood in Skyway Airlines VIP lounge, the press conference's echoes fading as reporters dispersed. Her new badge, Community Impact Director, felt heavy in her hand, her worn scarf a reminder of the life she'd left behind moments ago. Henry Caldwell, Skyway's founder, clapped her shoulder. "Your story's going viral, Clara," he said, showing her a tablet. Social media buzzed with clips of her helping Henry, tagged #kindnessflies. Strangers praised her selflessness. One post read, "She gave up her flight for an old man, now she's changing lives." Clara's eyes welled up. Her $5 coffee for a stranger had sparked a movement. Passengers outside the lounge cheered, their phones capturing her stunned expression. Ms. Evans approached, her tablet glowing with emails. "Clara, charities want to partner with your fund," she said. "Your story's inspiring donations." Clara's breath caught, her act was now fueling millions for stranded travelers. Henry smiled. "You've shown the world what one choice can do." She thought of her empty wallet, her missed flight, her dead phone. That Clara felt distant now. A young girl tugged her scarf, whispering, "You're my hero." Clara knelt, heart full. "Just help someone when you can," she said. The terminal hummed with energy, strangers inspired to act kinder. Henry handed her a first-class boarding pass. "Your new life starts in Boston," he said. "But first, one last surprise." Clara's pulse raced as he led her toward a private jet, its Skyway logo gleaming. The crowd watched, awestruck. Her simple act of compassion had not only transformed her future but was reshaping how people saw kindness. The final moment would leave everyone speechless. Clara Thompson followed Henry Caldwell to a gleaming Skyway Airlines private jet outside JFK's terminal, her worn scarf fluttering in the breeze. The crowd's murmurs grew as passengers filmed, their phones capturing her stunned face. Her squeaky suitcase, now stowed by Ms. Evans, seemed a relic of another life. "Clara, you've earned this," Henry said, gesturing to the jet. "Not just a flight home, a new start." Inside, plush seats and a champagne glass awaited, a far cry from her empty wallet. Her badge, Community Impact Director, glinted as she boarded. The contract promised purpose, stability, and a chance to shape Skyway's legacy. Clara's heart swelled, her $5 coffee for Henry had rewritten her story. "What's the kindest act you've seen?" Share below. As the jet taxied, Clara gazed at the terminal, where strangers still buzzed about her viral story. #kindnessflies trended globally, inspiring donations and acts of compassion. Henry sat across from her, no longer the frail man she'd helped. "You reminded me why I built Skyway," he said. "To lift people up." Clara smiled, tears falling. She'd been a cashier, scraping by, but one selfless moment had made her a leader. The jet soared over New York, carrying her to Boston and a future she'd never dreamed of. Back at the airport, passengers shared her story, vowing to pause for others. Clara's act had sparked a movement, proving kindness could change the world. As she sipped champagne, Henry raised his glass. "To new beginnings," he said. Clara nodded, forever changed. One small choice had turned a missed flight into a flight to a brighter future. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.